Bore da croeso. Good morning and welcome. It's great to see everybody here, and we've sold out of tickets for this event, which is fantastic, and everybody's come here through sleet and snow and everything, which is really wonderful. It's been 3 years since the last time we had an in-person session like this. And in between, we've had lockdown. And I can remember that session really well because for about a week beforehand, we were saying, oh, should we go ahead or shouldn't we? It was more or less this time last year in 2020. And we had a lovely day in Aberystwyth, and a week later, we were all locked down. So we just got that one in time. And this is the first one since. So well done for coming. And it's lovely, really, really lovely to see you all. Before we start, I just want to say a few words about Don Benson. Most of you will already know that Don Benson, who was the first director of the Dyfed Archaeological Trust, sadly died on the 1st of January this year. Many of us were at his funeral in St Clair's not so very long ago. But I thought it was worth just saying a few words about Don. In addition to really setting up the Dyfed Archaeological Trust 45 years ago, and before that, Don worked and was in fact one of the founders, one of the instigators of what was then called the Sites and Monuments Record. And that is what has led to the comprehensive historical environment record that we have today across the whole of Wales. And of course, DAT is responsible for maintaining the historical environment record for Dyfed, for Pembrokeshire, Ceredigion and Carmarthen. So part of Don's legacy is that hugely important resource that's now available to academics, researchers, planners, and of course to us, the general public. So it's just worth remembering Don, and many of you will have already seen the obituary that Henry Owen John wrote about Don, which was published a few weeks ago in The Guardian, and it's still available for those who are interested on their website. So thank you, Don. Well, despite lockdowns, a huge amount has happened in Dyfed, in the heritage and archaeology world in the last 3 years. And the purpose of today, apart from having a jolly nice day, is to tell you about really significant work that's been going on in our area, and partly work that we've done in DAT. We have a good lineup of speakers from the Trust here today. But also, I'm very pleased to welcome 2 non-DAT speakers today, guest speakers. That's Sian Thomas from the Botanical Gardens, from Archaeology Wales, and Helen Whittier from the Botanic Garden. And we'll be giving a warm welcome to both of those later on this morning and this afternoon. This session is purely face-to-face. It's the first purely face-to-face session we've had for ages. There's no Zoom, no Microsoft Teams. However, the session is being recorded by Johan Ings, who is the gentleman over there with the camera, who's from Akron. And Akron is Johan's company. He specialises in making films and videos and that kind of thing. And so for those of you who are really keen, you can watch it again on our YouTube channel subsequently. And of course, the recordings on the YouTube channel, along with some of the photographs from today as well, will be available to those who are not able to come in person today, but nevertheless are still interested in all or some of the talks. Each talk is going to be 25 to 30 minutes, and we're allowing 5 minutes for questions at the end. I am going to move the speakers quite briskly through the talks, and so I'm going to give you a 5-minute warning, speakers, wherever you are, so that you know that you've got 5 minutes to wind up, because I do want to allow time for questions, and we have quite a full agenda. There's lots to tell you about, and so I don't want later speakers to be squeezed by earlier ones. But I mean, the day has been well planned by Alice, who sadly isn't able to be here today, but she's done a fantastic job of organising it beforehand. So I'm sure everything's going to go really smoothly. There's a chance to ask questions after each talk, as I mentioned. Also, the speakers will be around in the breaks and at lunchtime. And in addition, as you've already seen, we have exhibition space next door. Lunch will be eaten next door. There are nice tables and everything there. And so there's a chance to have a look at the exhibition materials and to ask further questions over lunch. I hope some of you are going to go and look at the Kidwelly Historical Society exhibition today. We're pleased to have we're pleased to be in Kidwelly, and we're pleased to have them with us. And as we're in Kidwelly, I have to mention that they have a wonderful item on their display board, which shows how the current King Charles is descended from Owen Glyndwr, and also I knew this was going to be controversial. And also that he has ancestors who come from Kidwelly, so who knew that? You can all go and find out more about that intriguing fact at break time and over lunch. Just a bit of admin, which is that the loos you've seen already are through there. It's a very well-appointed facility. In the event of emergency, which I hope doesn't happen, exit through the nearest fire exit. There's one there, one over there, and the door you came in through. And the assembly point is by that wooden hut that you can see through the window, which is opposite the main entrance. One other bit of admin is that you have feedback forms on your feet. We do pay close attention to feedback, so we'd like to receive it, please. We'd like to know what we can do better, what other ideas you have, and whether you've enjoyed yourself today. So do please tell us, and just give your forms to a member of the DAT team before you leave. Thank you very much indeed. So it's now time for me to introduce Fran Murphy. Fran is our Head of Field Services, and she's going to talk about the recent excavations at Porthrau, the Iron Age promontory fort that some of you may have visited on the Pembrokeshire coast. It's near to Solva. It's an extremely scenic project, and Fran has been leading 3 years of Cadw-funded excavations at Porthrau. It's rescue work because Porthrau is a dramatic site, and it's a really good example of a site that's being gradually eroded through wear exacerbated by climate change. And it shows how important it is that for us to learn and record from that site what we can while we can.